Okay, so I came across this story, I don't know which platform now, on social media recently. And before I share this story with us, I want to state categorically that I care less about the specifics of this person's life or their marital life than what we can all learn from the story. The narratives are just merely scaffolds. To me, my main focus from this story are the lessons. Okay, so this is how the story started. He said, when I got married, marriage was hell. If there's anything cooler than hell, that was exactly how my marriage felt. In the first week of our marriage, I asked my wife a simple question. She got upset. I was coming from a background where we did not know too much anger, but I had married a woman who knew anger very well. We were in the kitchen. She was arranging teacups, saucers, and other things when suddenly she moved all the cups and plates with one hand and they fell to the ground. Bam, 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 bam. She turned around, gave me a stare. I was shocked. I had never seen anything like that before. I went into the room, packed my things, and I left the house because I genuinely thought the next thing she would do was beat me. This continued for a while because she had a fundamental problem with anger. I could not talk to my wife freely without worrying about how she would react. Every now and then, she acted as though she was the man of the house. Let me cut the long story short. One day, I told God, I'm done. I've done everything right in this life. The only thing I got wrong was my marriage. You know me, and I've tried. Let us go our separate ways. She's successful, I'm successful, so everybody will be fine. But before I get to what God told me, let me share one story. My wife and I were once in London. She went into a shop where I remained outside, another shop, to pick up something. When she returned and found out I had gone to another shop, she became upset. I said, you should have told me you were going to the other shop. We would have gone together. I'm not used to the cold here. She looked at me and said, what did you say? What did you say? I told her, that is what I said. Do you want me to be afraid of you? That was a statement I often made because I felt she was always trying to intimidate me. She left me in that shop and went home. I did not even realize she had left until much later I called her friend and asked, please, where is my wife? I am here and I do not know where to go. Her friend called my wife and asked where she was. She said she was already at home. Her response was, let him find his way back. I eventually found my way back, packed my things again, changed my ticket, and left that night. That was how difficult our marriage was. At some point, when she returned to Nigeria so that we could live together, things became even worse. Then one day, while I was praying, I told God, this is the end. Let her go her way, let me go mine. And God said something that changed my entire perspective. He said, this marriage is not a destination, it is an assignment. And the extent to which you solve this assignment will determine your promotion in destiny. That changed everything for me. My mindset shifted from coming into marriage to receive love to making sure my wife always said the right things or to expecting her to behave the way I wanted. I began to see marriage as a place where I also had an assignment, which is what? To give love, to say the right things, to control my actions, and not respond to every expression of anger with anger. I am not saying it suddenly became a bed of roses. It did not. But today, I can stand and say that my wife is one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. She was not always like this, but God had to bring me to a place where I began to see my marriage as an assignment, and our assignments are different. Some people have short essays, some have objective questions, some have difficult subjects, some have different challenges altogether. We all have one thing in common: assignment. But first, change your mindset. Understand that your marriage is an assignment. And when your mindset changes, your approach to your marital problems will change as well. Now, this story is very relatable to most young couple. Yes. And let's now look at the lessons we can draw from this story. Again, like I stated from the very beginning, the details of this story matter to me mainly for what they reveal, mainly for the lessons we can learn. The narratives are just scaffolds. My focus is on the lesson. So, understanding your conflict language will definitely save you years of undue emotional trauma, which many young couples go through within the first few years of their marriage. I wouldn't take it as a generalized experience for everyone, but as a saying that the first 5 years of anyone's marriage is usually the hardest. And this is because within that year 1 to year 5, you are coming to know your partner in their most authentic self. And part of that authenticity that you see is that they will unveil to you how they fight. Fight here is not boxing. It's how they react when they feel unheard, when they feel not cared for, when they don't feel safe, when they feel disrespected. So I think it's best you be in that situation from a place of knowledge than going in there ignorantly. Because when you go in there ignorantly, you'll be in a loop. Some people are in a loop. They just keep having similar issues, similar misunderstanding, because both are not understanding how they fight, what their conflict languages are. They don't know. So people are so much focused on the love language. But what keeps a relationship stronger is how your understanding of your partner's conflict language and how you respond or integrate your own conflict language into theirs, so that every conflict does not repair you guys apart, but rather bond you together, because every conflict is a call to get to know me more. Do you understand? So part of that ignorance is that a lot of people see conflict as a negative force. Conflict is not negative force. No, you need to change some of those mindsets. So that's why, and the moment we see conflict as a negative force, somehow our intrinsic traits is looking for a way for defense. Yes, so people have different ways by through which they kind of protect their inner child. So conflict is not something negative. Conflict is not a negative force in a relationship. If you have knowledge, you see that conflict is not a negative force in a relationship. Conflict is actually what bonds better any two individuals that have different experiences growing up. Conflict bonds better. And so what happens with couple is that because they don't know, they are coming in, getting to know this person like a surprise in quotes. They are seeing this person in their most authentic self. All guards are down. So imagine adding ignorance, and within that first few years you also have kids. I know one thing, kids, if you not handle properly, is also a factor that repairs couple apart. So you see that the walls keep getting larger, keep getting taller, so rather than getting smaller. So I think again it's highly important you go into any form of close bonding relationship understanding that people speak different languages in conflict, and that language is called conflict language. So, and knowing how compatible yours is with your partner. So if it's something you need to work on yourself, or they also work on themselves, and together you both evolve to have a healthier conflict resolving pattern. There is no better resource that will give you the insights you need in becoming self-aware on who you are in conflict, manage other people's expectations, and evolve and become a better person in resolving conflict with one another. So yes, cracks that let the light in. Let's just pick one or two highlights from the book. It's a conflict can feel, I'm reading page 1. Conflict can feel uncomfortable, awkward, or even painful. But the truth is, it is a normal part of every relationship. Yes, even the healthy ones. But there is a difference. Tension is not a sign that something is broken. No. Rather, it's a sign that something matters. The real question isn't if conflict will come, it's how will you respond when it does. So a healthy relationship isn't one without conflict. It's one where both people are actively evolving in how they handle conflicts. So let me just give you a few highlights from what conflict languages are. Conflict languages are simply the various ways people express and manage disapproval in relationship. This book contains a field guide with practical, relatable stories to the 6 different ways that people fight without knowing it, so that the next hard conversation you have will build something rather than breaking it. Remember, every fight is trying to tell you something. This book teaches you to listen. So if you want to order your copies, it's still available on seller, and you can DM me if you are interested in the hard copies. So see you next time.